Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reed's Reads Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Check us out, the SpidermanCrawlspace.com. Well, guys, it's been quite a few weeks here since our last issue of Amazing Spider-Man. And, of course, last time we talked about over in Amazing Spider-Man 42, Spider-Man and, of course, Boomerang were left at GOG after we got a secret origin story. So now Nick Spencer and Ryan Ottley bring us, of course, issue 43, the conclusion to True Companion. So let's get into the prose. First of all, this actually takes us right back. It just jumps us right back into the story where Spider-Man and Boomerang were trying to get the last piece of the Lifeline tablet from GOG. And, of course, the fact that Boomerang was doing his classic, well, we're going to work together, but I'm going to do things my way. And there's a lot of comical, fun pieces here because, it's really Spider-Man and Boomerang are really the odd couple in this storyline as they're trying to get the precious Lifeline tablet away from GOG so they can also keep it away from the Kingpin, who has now tracked them down and intends to take out GOG. But as Spider-Man knows, GOG's really just doing this out of fear and protection and knowing that he really can't be hurt. So I really like how Spider-Man really kind of gets over, webs up the Kingpin and his men to start trying to keep GOG protected from them. But at the same time, GOG's trying to take out Boomerang due to him having the Lifeline tablet. And I really like how Spencer really throws us a curveball with the fact is that Boomerang accidentally creates a game of fetch using his boomerangs to try to take him out, and then Spider-Man realizing that GOG just wants to play. And it's really fun that how he ends up defeating GOG, and remember the use of the Pym particles, which was kind of explained here at the beginning of the story that even though GOG's back to his normal size, he did have the Pym particles to keep himself small. So tricking him to go after one of Boomerang's boomerangs, which is actually knockout gas, into the back of a van was absolutely great because I really like this Spider-Man. Spencer has done such a great job of getting Spider-Man back to, using his brain, using his skills to really get himself out of the situation. Also, when he says, "This is my fault," he stops and says, "Okay, this isn't my fault. I just have a responsibility complex." Beautifully done versus the Spider-Man that was always blaming himself. If somebody stubbed their toe, "Oh, I should have been able to stop that guy from stubbing his toe." No. This Spider-Man realizes there's responsibilities in things, but at the same time, he knows when to stop and actually use his head, which we don't see a lot of. Spencer does a not only great thing, but Ryan Ottley's artwork is really great. The action is nice and clean. The destruction of GOG through the little parts of New York, as well as the Kingpin's task force, is really cool, as well as some of the comedical parts in the story, especially when GOG is brought home to be the new house pet for Peter, Fred, and Randy. And it is really great. But I'm going to throw in now from that to a little bit of the cons. The cons is why they stop GOG and get the Lifeline tablet. The storyline just seems to be over again, even though it's going to be continued in issue 44 when we finally meet Kindred face to face with Spider-Man. But it's like they went and made this big deal for 2 years to get the Lifeline tablet. It all kind of pays off. Then all of a sudden they get the last piece from GOG. They take him home as a house pet, get the incubation thing, and then it's like, that's it. Well, what happened to the Lifeline tablet? There seems to be like a part of the story is missing to just get this little part. And that's kind of really throws it. I mean, we waited 2 years to get to this storyline, and then all of a sudden it's kind of just over with kind of like, well, wait to issue 44 when Spider-Man really meets Kindred face to face, and we'll probably explain a little bit more really what's going on with the Lifeline tablet. I feel like the storyline's kind of now being dragged on. I mean, I am going to leave it to Spencer because he ends up throwing us a really interesting curveball that I don't think a lot of people have noticed. But the biggest one is when GOG bites Randy Robertson. I've been saying for the last couple years that something has not been quite right with Randy, and I was throwing out with characterization from the way he finds Peter really more annoying than Fred, the fact that he didn't really want to be his roommate, as well as him basically dating Janice Lincoln, the daughter of Tombstone, his father's worst enemy, who's not short of nothing to kill Robbie and Randy several times. The fact that he knows his girlfriend is actually a supervillain who's been protecting villains who have been tearing up towns and committing crimes, and now GOG bites him? It's interesting. Spencer's been throwing us little hits that something is not right with Randy Robertson, and really it's been so subtle we've not really noticed outside the little small things. And I thought it was mischaracterization. The truth is it's not. Something's not right with Randy Robertson. In fact, how do we know this is really Randy at all? The way he's reacted and his dating with Janice Lincoln, the way he reacted to Nora Winters a couple issues ago, something's not right with Randy, and now GOG bites him feeling he's a threat to Fred and Peter. Something is really off, and I think it's a nice curveball. Is he Kindred? I guess we'll find out maybe more next issue. But otherwise, I'm going to give this story an A-. It's been dragging, and the wait was really hard with the COVID pandemic, but this issue really nicely brings it all together. But like I said, we feel like we're missing some pieces of the story, which makes it feel like all of a sudden it was just over or to be continued later on because we just can't fit it into a couple more pages. So A-. Well done. And of course the prelude here with Sin's Rhyme with the Sin Eater at the vault with the mysterious somebody trying to break out. And I have a small idea who it could be, but we'll talk about that in issue 44 when we get to Sin's Rising here, which hopefully will be out soon despite the publication delay. So if you want to need us more, guys, please come check us out at the SpidermanCrawlspace.com. Please leave us a message and tell us what you think of this video and our other reviews, or follow us on one of our social medias such as Twitter or Instagram. And on that note, everybody, I'll see everybody later on the Crawl Space.